Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're all well. Today I'm gonna go through step by step a bloom tutorial. I've had lately quite a few people messaging me asking me if I can help them with the blooms, so I thought I'd scrape it all back and literally go through everything. So let's start. Hopefully I don't miss anything. First of all, you're going to want to set everything up ready and have a plan in your mind for exactly what you're going to carry out. Because with a bloom, you can't be faffing about once your resin gets to the temperature, or you think I'll just get my stuff ready once I've mixed my resin. I wouldn't. I'd get everything sorted and have a plan in your mind of what exactly you're going to be doing. You might miss the opportunity while you're setting everything up, and then you take the temperature of your resin and it's out the window already. So get everything set up. You want your gloves, you want some paper towels, baby wipes, whatever you're using to clean up. You want a cup with your piping bag if you're going to pipe your petals. If you're not going to pipe your petals and you're going to pour out of a cup because you find that better, then just have your cup ready. You're going to want your resin. For me, personally, I use a high viscosity resin. It's the J. Dixon 4-hour demold. It's fast cure resin, so it's nice and thick already. You can use literally any resin you want to use, but if it's of a lower viscosity, you're just going to have to wait longer for your resin to thicken up and reach a decent temperature. You're going to want your cups for mixing. So this resin is by volume and it's just 1:1. So I do it in these cups that have got the volume on the side, so you know exactly what you're doing to mix your resin. Then you're going to want another cup and a stir stick to mix your white. I've got some little bits that I'm going to put in my centre, and I've picked out, I just got these little metal stones off Temu, so I've used the rose gold ones, I've used a dark pink glitter, and that I've got pink glitter which is a bit lighter from Resin-A, and I've mixed those together and popped them in a little pot ready for my centre. So that is those. I have my paste ready. My choice of paste is the Bloom paste from Pouring Your Heart Out. It's my go-to paste for blooms. I love it. You can also use other pastes like Cast and Craft and the Let's Resin Ocean White. Any white paste really, and you can also use some of the Alcohol Ink Sinker Whites. So just have an experiment and see what works best for you. You just want to get your white to that milky consistency. I'm going to use the Druzy Edge mould. This is one of my new moulds, and before you start, you're gonna want to clean it. Even if you've had it packed away, it's brand new, you can still get little particles on it that just come out of nowhere. So get some tape, give it a clean. I'm gonna, because this has got a druzy edge, I'm gonna put some chameleon powder around the edge of this. So I've just picked out my Let's Resin chameleon powder in magenta. And I've also picked a couple of my new inks from Kaminsky in pink and fuchsia. So they're nice and ready there. I'm also going to use some faux leather in this tutorial that I got off Amazon. And it's a rose gold, kind of, I don't know, crocodile skin type. So I've already popped this onto my mould, drawn out some lines so that I can cut this to size. And like I say, all this you want to get ready before you even start mixing your resin and doing your bloom. So let's cut this out. And then we can check it and make sure everything fits. Sorry if you can't see me right now, but I just need to quickly cut round this. And see if it fits. I should have done it more off to the side so I didn't waste as much of this as I've wasted. Poop, see what I mean? You need to really think about what you're doing and have everything ready. I just plonked it in the middle and look at all that waste on that now, and I could have moved it right over into the corner and probably I got a couple of coasters out of the rest of it. Silly me. Right, so I've cut that out and then just check it for size. I think it's going to be slightly too big. So I'm going to cut off a bit more. Not much. You don't then want to end up making it too small, so just do it in stages. Take your time with it. Doesn't matter how long it takes you. You want your piece to be right and come out as nice as you can possibly make it. Okay, I'm thinking that that's good. So we will go with that. That is ready for when we do that step. So now, got everything ready. I've got my weighing scales here as well so that you can weigh out your white, some scissors so you can cut your piping bag, and like a dotting tool. And that's just going to be to draw my petals and like poke down my center. Like you want something that's not sharp. If you touch the bottom of your mould or anything like that, you don't want to scratch it. So look at that rogue piece of glitter that I've got in there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I want to put my chameleon powder around these edges. So for this I'm going to take obviously my chameleon powder. I'm going to tip a bit into my lid, not that much, just a tiny bit, didn't even need that, but it all came flying out. I'm going to get a little brush Where's that brush? There we go, that one. And these little brushes that comes in the pack of them. And I'm going to pop on my paper towel just so that I don't get it on the rest of my mould, and I'm going to gently, trying to make as least mess as possible, go around the edge of my mould. Take your time with this step as well, guys. You don't need to rush at anything. You can do it in your own time. Have fun with it. Enjoy the process. I'm just trying to get into all these little crevices and burnish this powder onto my mould. And I'm just going to move this slightly. This is just so that I don't have, so the powder doesn't go everywhere and I don't have lots of cleanup to do. Because sometimes, especially when you're using the metallic powders, they're really difficult to get off and clean up, and you want to try as little as you can to actually be touching the insides of your handmade moulds. Because even like the oils on your skin leave marks. So you're just going to do this all the way around. Making sure that it's all rubbed in properly. It's a beautiful colour, is this? Really, really nice. Really nice. Okay, I'm just going to finish this off, so I'll put you on a little fast forward. Okay guys, so that's all done. I cleaned it all up, so I just took a baby wipe and wiped around, and then get a clean one and wipe it again, because I guarantee you there is still more powder on there. And then, because the baby wipes leave little like water particles on your mould, I took a cloth. Don't rub it, you don't want to damage your mould at all. So I just, if you could see in the time lapse that I just popped it on and just press it and soak them little particles into it, and then again took my tape and gave it a good clean around. So now this is already our I'm going to use this as a backing, obviously, on my flower. So this is going to come in the next step, but it's all ready. And right now, we're ready to go on to mixing our resin. So I'm going to do that, and when I'm ready and it's ready, I'll come back and do the next step. Okay guys, I've mixed my resin. I've done 140 ml altogether, so 70 of A, 70 of B. Stirred it nice and slowly for a good 4 or 5 minutes until my resin is clear. I wasn't going to show you the process because everyone uses different resins, so all I would say is just follow your manufacturer's instructions of that resin. Read the leaflet that they give you, and if they give you a time, they always say around about 4 minutes to stir your resin. But sometimes if you're doing a larger amount and it's a thick resin, it takes a bit longer than that and it can still be cloudy. So I do mix until my resin is clear, apart from any bubbles, obviously. Air bubbles are air bubbles, but you'll see if you've got any cloudy pieces, and they need to be mixed in properly, because that's not, and it's not going to cure. So yeah, scrape your sides, scrape your bottom, put it in another cup if you need to, and stir again. But yeah, as I say, follow your manufacturer's instructions. Once you've stirred your resin, what you want to do is get yourself something that will take its temperature. So I just use this food thermometer, pop it in, still going up. So that's telling me my resin is at 37.8, and it's going up quickly. 37.9 it is now. It's going to 38. So I am gonna take that out and I'm gonna start going. Ideally, you want your temperature to be around that. Anywhere from 33 up to about 38, and it's going to depend on the temperature in your home, the temperature outside, because it's going to heat up quicker if it's a warm day. There's a lot of factors that come into it, so you're just going to have to play it by, yeah, that kind of range, 33 to 38. Think of the size of your piece as well that you're doing. If it's a smaller piece, your temperature can be a bit higher. If it's a bigger piece, do it when it's lower. So I'm just going to put 20 grams into another cup for my white. So that's that. That's for my white, and the rest of it I'm going to pop in my mould. You don't want to fill your mould at this stage. You just want a thin enough layer to do a bloom. If it's too thick a resin, your white's just going to drop to the bottom. It has further to go. If it's a thinner piece, it's going to stretch out more than drop down, so that's what you want. You don't want it too thin, but you don't want it too thick. Okay, so that's all in there. You can see some bubbles, so this is probably the only time I'm going to torch. And I'm just going to do it that tiny bit. I can see a little hair there. Don't know where that's come from. It's either in my cup or... And as usual, I didn't save any resin for my bits. I want a bit of resin in there. See if I can get some out of here. So just pop in there. Is that enough? Let's see. Yeah, that'll do. That will do. And then that I'm just going to pop in the middle. As you can see, I've put a template under my mould. If your mould's see-through, make yourself one of these little templates, and then you know exactly where your centre is. You're not going to go like off course when you're piping your petals. If you can follow something nice and simple. Obviously, if your mould's not see-through, you can't use it, but if it is, use what you've got. Okay, our centre's in. Let's do, oh actually before we mix our white, we want to do our inks. What do I want in the middle? Let's go, if I can open this. This is pink. It's just called pink. So let's do 1, 2, 3 drops. 4 drops. That's very light, isn't it? And then let's go for the This Is Fuchsia. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll go in between them as well. Oh, that's a bright colour. Oh, that spread really nicely actually. You couldn't see that in the middle and now you can. Lovely. Now you can do what you want. You can leave these to settle and then just start piping your petals. You can give them a swirl to mix them together a bit. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. I'm just going to leave them to settle a moment, and I'm going to put 2 drops of my Bloom paste in my white. 1, 2. Mix that in. Make sure you're mixing your pigments really well, especially pastes and micas. Don't want any streaky bits or any like unmixed paste, because it won't cure and it'll just be on your piece. Let's have a look at that. Can you see that? It's still transparent It's like a milky consistency, that's what you want. And then I'm going to pop that in our piping bag that we've got. I'm going to scrape this out. And we don't want to cover this full tray with our bloom because putting this backing on, and if we cover it, we're not going to see any of this. So I'm just going to do it in the circle where our inks are. I'm not going to go too far out. So, piping bag, twist that, tuck that in so it's not going to drip, like drag through your resin. I'm going to give this a little swirl. You don't have to do this. At all. You can just pipe it as it was. But yeah, I'm going to give it a little swirl. Okay, then I'm going to cut the tip of my piping bag so that my hole's about 3mm. I don't like to cut it too big because I have more control when it's not too big. And then I'm just gonna squeeze my bag and start piping my petals. You can do your petals in whatever pattern you want. You don't have to follow this pattern. Go a bit quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. Like I say, I don't want to come out too far because what's the point in putting that background on? I want to see it. So I'm just going to come out to where my ink is, and hopefully we will get a nice flower. I think I'm going to, let's just do this bit, and I'm going to stop right there. I've not used all of this 20 grams. I'm going to go back over some of these lines because they might be a bit thin. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, where you could maybe see a few blobs, I'm just gonna pull them in a bit. Sometimes some blobbies look nice, other times they don't, so it's hit and miss with the blobs. So if you can avoid them, choose to avoid them. There is a bubble right there. Come on. And then that's made 2 bubbles. No, okay. So that's starting to bloom now. On the outer side, might just give it a little shot of heat. Not much. And then hopefully this is going to pull in. The white is going to draw into the centre, close all this up and give us some nice petals. I might just draw in some lines as well. Or I might just, oh, I don't know. Let's draw in some lines. Just some little ones. Don't touch the bottom of your mould when you do this. Literally, I'm just going on the top. Oops, I need to be a bit lower down than that. And then let's do one in between each of the ones we've already done. Like so. And then you could pull out as well. There's loads of things you can do, but I'm not gonna. I like innies. More than I like the outies. But yeah, that looks really good so far. You can start to see it now closing in. If you can't see it doing this, maybe if you've got a heat gun, you know, go over it with your heat gun, give it a bit of heat to help it along. Obviously that's not going to help it along if you've let your resin get too hot. It's just going to then drop. So take your temperature, don't guess it at the start. Like, as soon as you start doing the blooms and getting the temperature right, you'll know then what consistency, how that resin works. Each resin is different, so you'll find a resin like me that you find works really well, and yeah, it works for me every time. Well, not every time, but it usually does. I've got it off to a good so that's blooming really nicely, and we've got enough room around the outside so that when we put this in, you're going to see this around the edge. As you can see, I picked pink and rose gold. They're just like a partnership made in heaven. Pink and rose gold. I absolutely love it. Oh, that's looking really, really good. Right guys, I'm gonna leave you here for now because the next part is waiting for this to cure so that we can then go on to the next step of putting our backing in and filling up the rest of the mould to finish our piece. So I will be right back with you guys once this is cured. Hey guys, we're back. This is now cured, so it's absolutely fine to put the next layer on. So I've mixed up 200 millilitres, 100 of A, 100 of B, and I've just mixed up my craft resin, this one, epoxy resin, 1:1. I'd say it's a medium viscosity resin, and I didn't do my fast cure just with it being a thick resin, and I didn't want to risk getting as many bubbles underneath our faux leather. So all we're gonna do, I popped this in my bubble remover machine as well. I've got the one from Resiners. It's just the smaller one. It were about 65-70 pounds. It just does me for like pieces, but I am getting to a stage now where I would like to fit more in it, so I might have to upgrade to the next size. But anyway, it does the job that it's supposed to do. It gets your bubbles out of your resin. So just gonna pour some resin on top of here now. So just enough for a layer. I'm thinking that 200 grams might not be enough, but I didn't want to do too much over. I'm also going to just pour some onto the top of here. And I'm doing this so that when I lay this in, I'm not going to get as many bubbles. So all I'm going to do is coat this piece in resin. I'm just spreading it out with a little silicone tool. You can do this with your fingers if you want, but I hate getting like full on messy. I don't mind it if I'm doing a top coat on something, but so yeah, let's make sure we cover all of this in a coat of resin so that we get less bubbles underneath our piece. I don't want any bubbles, so I'm hoping that would that this would do the trick. Let's put a tiny bit more on because I can see it separating in places. On you drip off there. Let's put a bit more. Okay, that's coated. So before it had a chance to not be, I'm gonna turn it over and pop it in. I'm hoping not to get any bubbles. Then I'm going to pour a layer on top. Oh my days. This should spread out. I like to let the resin do what the resin wants to do most of the time. There's sometimes when we haven't got a choice, we've got to do what we want to do to it, but I do like to let it run into areas itself and not have to poke it about too much. I'm just gonna move this. I need to get underneath this lip because I need to move it. Didn't want it sat there, that's better. I want it all the way underneath. I think it's actually enough. I think it's actually filled it. So I'm just going to spend my time playing with it a bit. Getting these bubbles out. There's no more bubbles on this now. So if I go through and push this around and see if there's any bubbles that come out from underneath, which so far there isn't. Oh, there was one there that just came out. Whoops, one there, you see it? Oh, there's quite a few at that side that just came out. Look at them. Not really bothered about this top bit though, I just don't want none to be sat underneath this piece. So yeah, I'm probably going to babysit this now for a while and watch out for any bubbles coming out. I'm going to try not to torch, to be honest, and get these bubbles out on their own. Just try and pop them. Poke them out. But yeah, that's all I'm going to do for like the next half an hour or so, more than likely. There's loads on the top. Maybe it sinks into the leather piece, I don't know. I do want to be super careful with this mould though. Alright guys, this is what I'm going to do. For a while, it has filled the mould, so I don't need to do anything else, although when I take it out, because I've not got enough room in the mould now, I might just do a back coat on it, just to cover the back of it, because you don't want it to look like this, do you, even though you're going to have it the other side up. Yeah, it's not something. I still like to finish off the underneath as nicely as I possibly can. Because it still does make your piece look more professional. So yeah, I will be back with you guys when this is cured. So I'll see you soon. Hey guys, this is ready. I haven't done anything to the back yet. I wanted to mould it first, and then I might just do like you'd do a top coat, but on the back. I might do it pink, just to cover this ugliness up at the back, because I don't like that. So anyway, let's see how it turned out. I'm excited about this. Oh my god. Look at that. What do you think? That piece at the back's not like lied flat. It's like it's up a bit more at this side. Oh, I love this mould. Look at that edge. Do you need to get like some of this off? So what I usually do to get these bits off, I just take my crafter knife, and they're usually really quite easy. So just peel it off, kind of. I think that was the only place it was like that. Yeah. And then, because the edge is really sharp, if you get yourself some of these, this is a round one, and you get one that's fully flat. This one's rounded at one side and flat on the other side. This one's like a square, and then this one is a triangular shape. So I usually, for these pieces, I use the one that's flat and round, and then I just kind of go around it. I don't want it flat because I don't want it to completely flatten around here, so I usually just do this. It only takes a couple of files, and it's just got rid of that sharp edge. Then I just do it the whole way around. I got these on Amazon. It was like a little file and polishing kit for your resin. I'll see if I can find it again. It should be in with my orders list somewhere, and I should be able to get it back again. But what do you think? There's a couple of rogue pieces of glitter, look, that have spread out, but I'm not mad at that. I love it. Really like that. So yeah, it's just a case now of finishing it off. So like I said, I'll file around the edges because they're really sharp because of these druses, and then I think I'm just going to put a pink backing on. I might just do it like a baby pink. I've got a baby pink paste. Actually, I'll do that before I even file these edges. I'll do that first. And then it just covers up this back bit. But I really like that. Really like it. It's pretty. Alright then guys, I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye for now. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she